Okay, this got very intense. Now, if you are unaware, this is the Portland Federal Building where federal agents and protesters have been clashing every single night for 4 months in a row now. Okay, so on Labor Day, protesters decided to mobilize and bring as many protesters as possible, which eventually led to the biggest amount of tear gas we have seen in this area, some of the loudest flashbangs, and it got very intense. And that's what we're going to cover in this video. Now, real quick, before we start this video, make sure to please like this video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well. I also just launched a brand new newsletter, so I can give you guys free updates every single day on stories just like this. You can use the QR code, you can go to the link in my description or pinned comment. It's all free and I will keep you guys updated. Here we go.
Okay, so I just arrived down at ICE, and even walking up was a little bit concerning because they were several blocks away. I don't know if they're patrolling or just walking back to their car. But I will say that they have blocked off.
Okay, so that was filmed by Honey Badger Mom. If you are unaware, she is a friend of the channel and a journalist who was punched in the head by the protesters just a few weeks ago. She called 911 and nobody came to help her. The police made her walk around the corner for help. Okay, so that was filmed by Cam Higbee. Go follow him on X, go follow him on YouTube. He is a friend of the channel. But what he really showed us is how far back the federal agents were willing to go or push away these protesters. So Cam started right here, and eventually he landed in the line of fire all the way out here. We're talking about over 500 feet away from the federal building, but this goes to show these federal agents, they mean business. They're not going to be dealing with protesters anymore, trying to boss and push around the federal agents on their own property. Real quick, if you haven't already, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you guys updated with this story. It's so underreported and we want to make sure we are holding our elected officials accountable. That's what we do here, so make sure to please subscribe.
Vehicular traffic. Remain on the sidewalk or across the street. Everyone must leave this restricted area and may be subject to detention, arrest, or exposure to chemical munitions for failing to depart the restricted area.
That was filmed by Katie Davis Court on X. If you are subscribed to my channel, you should probably be following Katie on X. Like all of the other journalists I am shouting out, I'm doing it for a reason. Every single one of them, their lives have been threatened, they have been leaked, their information has been leaked on the internet. The protesters don't want these journalists in the area because we're able to actually see what's going on. But I want to show you this. I actually managed to find one of the protesters' TikToks and we can see a POV, a point of view of what it's like to be one of these protesters and how these federal agents are really pushing back.
Get back, please. 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 Keep going. Watch yourself, please.
The first thing I want to say is this. I do find it rather interesting how these protesters, they really cannot stand these federal agents and they really call them by very disgusting names. They portray them as the most evil people ever. But in the video, you can hear the federal agents say, please move back. Please move back. And he also says, please watch your step. Again, I don't know if this works within the narrative of the protesters, but this is why I really like to get into detail with these videos. We can hear the federal agent really actually be respectful to the protester who doesn't like the federal agents.
Watch your step. Get back. There's a floor here.
Again, you can really get a feel for how intense this situation is. Something else I want to point out is when Homeland Security deploys that tear gas, if you even attempt to pick it up or kick it back, that is why you probably hear some pepper balls in the background. You cannot do that. They will make sure to use those pepper balls against you.
They started a fire in this direction. DHS and ICE have started a fire!
Now, I do find it interesting how the protester is very concerned about a fire, which she's saying was started by Homeland Security. Yet, on countless occasions, we have seen fires started by the protesters, again, to protest the federal agents, and they don't seem to care about those fires. In fact, we have not even seen the Portland Fire Department or the Portland Police talk about some of these fires that were started. Just something to throw out there. Again, if we don't have both sides of the narrative and we don't have these journalists on the ground, we would just assume that everything is super one-sided. And look, on my channel, we have no problem in calling out the federal agents when they do something wrong, but this is why we cover this story, because for some reason, it's not covered by the mainstream and nobody knows what's even going on here. Okay, so Honey Badger Mom on X, again, go give her a follow, go support her. She was literally punched in the head by these protesters. She came back on the scene from a safe distance, but she managed to give us a really cool angle as far as what this all looked like from the top down. This gives us a very interesting perspective. Check this out. Oh, and I want to mention, she's been down here so many times. She said this is the loudest she has ever heard Homeland Security against these protesters with using their flashbang. She said she's never heard anything like this before.
Like, compared to last night, the night before.
It's Labor Day. They planned something fun. Sarcasm. But
And you can hear Honey Badger Mom talking to people in the background. These are the residents who have no choice but to just sit here and hope this will all go away one day. Because if they call 911, they're not going to get help. They're going to be told we'll look into it and then nothing happens. We have documented this on my channel so many times, which is why all of us, all of the journalists on the ground are reporting this story, because I don't think people realize you literally cannot call 911. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get the help you need. So right now, if one of these people in the building said, hey, 911, there's a lot of chaos out here, they just won't get help.
your poor dog. I'm so sorry.
You're about to go out there like usual, but you just go this way.
Okay, something else Honey Badger captured. Look at the encampment on the side of the building here. Look how many people are here. Okay, the issue with this is this. This has all been taken down already, but they just pop back up. Also, this is a school on this building over here, the gate. Sorry, you can't see that. The school blamed Homeland Security for damages and how Homeland Security forced the school to move. And a lot of papers like the Rolling Stone, they complain that Homeland Security did this, but they're not saying the other part of the story. This is not Homeland Security. These are all of the protesters putting their equipment, their food, their garbage on the property of the school, which is why we need these journalists on the ground to capture all of this for us. And by the way, some of the people here on the screen, I'm not going to say who they are. Some of these people, I know who they are, and a lot of us know who they are. They're not even supposed to be in the area. They have a no contact order. That's just something to think about. By the way, Cam Higbee, if you're watching my video, I am almost positive this is you right here. It looks like your silhouette. And if this is you, holy cow, that is quite an epic shot. Again, I'm not lying when I say these journalists are risking their lives for me and you to get this story so that we know what's actually going on in Portland. None of these journalists, to include myself, celebrate these clashes. We don't want this to happen. But the only way we can get this calmed down and we can hopefully get a little peace in Portland is if the right people see these type of videos and they see what's going on, and more help will be deployed to calm everyone down, because the police, they're not going to show up.
Close your windows! Close your windows! Close your windows down! Close your windows! I can see yourself, motherfuckers! Close your windows!
All of this tear gas seeping into the residential building, all of the animals that live there, these guys are not getting any help.
I'm not going to last much longer.
You heard that. Honey Badger said, I'm not going to last much longer. It is very intense, and they're far away, or, pretty far away from the federal building. Look how far this tear gas seeps through.
You want my keys? No, I'll just back up over. Yeah. So I'm not going to go inside.
Close your windows!
Close your window!
That's it! That's it!
And by the way, check that out. You can actually see the federal agents here have a vehicle coming in. One thing I'll say is this. I would call out the federal agents if they were just using a tactic of back away from the driveway. We have vehicular traffic coming through and there actually was no traffic. I would call them out for that. But nearly every single time the agent said, hey, you gotta back away, we have vehicles coming through, they come through according to all of the evidence. They're not just taking advantage of the situation here. They actually are trying to perform their duties and mission. Now, if you're wondering, why does it look like Homeland Security is using way more force than they usually do? If you've been following this video, understand Homeland Security is super vulnerable when they're in this situation. They have to leave the compound. And there are way more protesters than there are federal agents. It's better for them to not take the risk, deploy more of these munitions, back everybody up, than allow for some of these protesters to get too close. I also want to mention this is a very veteran and seasoned crew. Other crews in the past would allow for the protesters to dictate the situation or to allow the protesters to get way too close. This group of people, they don't do that. I've talked about this in like the last 3 videos. They've already been on this deployment before. They're one of the original first federal agents to deal with the protesters, so they have adapted and they know exactly what to do. Back everybody away and don't take the risk. Now, wait until you see this clip. Again, captured by Honey Badger Mom. Look how the protesters control the entire area. They can dictate who comes in and who has to leave. Check this out.
Here and show you the top of the street that connects with Macadam. Those are corkers, and they're directing traffic.
These are not federal workers. These are no one with the city. These are protesters who have gained so much control in the area, they can tell random people on the street, you go, you can come in, move over. I don't think people realize protesters control this entire area, and the city of Portland quite literally is allowing it. This is not my opinion. We are watching it on the screen.
How much closer I can get, but they've closed off the road. No permits, I'm sure, and are not allowing traffic to come down there. So traffic can go by here on this road, but they can only turn left.
And again, if you're wondering where are the police, if they come into the area, it will be perceived as if they're working with the federal agents. So it's better for the police, and a local judge just said you don't have to come down here for noise complaints because it can be perceived as working with the federal agents. It's better for the police to not just don't show up because it's going to cause more problems, and it can be perceived that you're breaking sanctuary laws. So that is what's going on currently in Portland at this Portland federal building. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, my disclaimer is we don't celebrate. This is not a fun thing to watch or react to. This has really become a little personal because I think a lot of people don't realize what's going on in Portland. And I really do think we have this balance of protester and federal agents. And protesters seem to be going so far that the city of Portland is just letting it happen. And I really do think if the city of Portland actually helped out the federal agents, we wouldn't have this issue and the protesters would be a little more safe. And so would the federal agents, and so would the people who live in the area. They would actually get some justice. Anyway, make sure to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure to please like the video. Leave your comments down below. Go subscribe to the newsletter. Absolutely free. You can use the QR code as well. Thank you guys for everything. God bless, and we'll see you all later.